Good morning, everyone. I know that every week this is supposed to just be prayer time, but there's just too much to say. There's too much to say all the time. God is so good. Amen. He is so good. My heart is confident in the Lord. My heart is confident. No wonder I can sing his praises. It says in Psalm 34, I will praise the Lord at all times. I will constantly speak of his praise. I constantly speak his praises. I will boast only in the Lord. Let all who are helpless take heart. Come, let us tell of the Lord's greatness. Let's exalt his name together. We talk a lot, don't we, about God's promises and standing on God's promises and the strength that we can draw from God's promises. But do we actually know what God's promises are? And a few months ago, I was reading the book of Hebrews, and the book of Hebrews is a wonderful book to tell us all about God's promises. And it details it from beginning to end, promise after promise after promise, promises that we can find grace to help in good time for every need. All the promises that he made to Abraham are documented in Hebrews. And when he made those promises, he swore it by himself. There's no one higher to swear by, is there? And it came to fruition, but he had to wait patiently and endure, Abraham that is. The greatest promise of all, eternity, demonstrated by Jesus, our mediator, where Jesus has entered in for us, a forerunner, having become the high priest forever. Promise after promise after promise. And I think it all kind of came and made sense yesterday on the way home from town in the car. And we just started playing a game. God is this, God is that. And we went round the car and each one of us had to say something that God is. And every one of us just kept thinking thing after thing after thing. God is love. God is strength. God is hope. God is peace. God is warmth. God is like a big comfort blanket. God is faithful. God is faithful. And I think that this is why it's so important that we dig into this book and that we really know him for ourselves, because in the midst of stuff, in the midst of things of this world and times of trials and troubles and things like that, do we choose to focus on the things that are consuming us, or do we choose to fix our eyes on God and his promises and cling on to those? And it's not something that sometimes comes easily. We have to force ourselves sometimes to think of the things that are good and pure and lovely and wonderful and start reeling them off in our heads. And when we do that, your heart lifts. You're still maybe in the same situation, but your heart lifts. Yeah. You fix your eyes on God and your heart lifts. Your heart can sing for joy. The joy of the Lord is my strength. And when you think about all those things that God's done for you in your life, no matter what situation you're in at the moment, he is faithful. He's brought you out of all those things. We need to trust that he can do that tomorrow. He's never shown us that we can't trust him. In this book, there's promise after promise that's been fulfilled. Abraham, Moses, Elijah, promise after promise. And he's done it in our lives as well. Fix our confidence, fix our hopes on the Lord, because he is faithful and his promises are true.